Welcome to another Baby Theater. Today, we're going to be talking about The Fox and the Hound. Yeah. See, The Fox and the Hound, pretty cool stuff. See, the Hound was all about hunting foxes, you know. Like, they got these owners with a bunch of guns and stuff like that. Basically, the Hound, is trained to basically find these foxes in the wilderness and get them. Now, the problem with this is foxes are pretty freaking smart, you know. They're not like your average bear, you know, because they're smarter than the average bear. That's why. Yeah, foxes. Foxes are the superior of the two. I mean, that's how bears are, you know. They're not foxy. So the hound hunts down this fox, and then the fox is like, "Yo, dog, what's up?" And the hound is like, "Wait, what? You're actually pretty cool, dude." And if the hunters like caught the fox, they'd like butcher it and take its skin off. So the hound was like, "Man, I want to make sure that the fox doesn't get caught, you know." But see, if the hound is caught letting the fox get away, then guess what? Have you ever seen the movie Old Yeller? Oh man, spoiler alert. You know, that's what happens. It's just, no, Old Yeller. I've seen the movie Cujo. Similar ending. So then, what ended up happening is the fox got away, right? And the hound didn't get in trouble because they were like, "Man, that foxy thing is real foxy and got away. We need that skin though. Gotta get that skin." And the hound was like, "Oh," And so the hound was pretty cool about it. He didn't. What is it? Rat him out. He didn't rat him out. He didn't rat out the fox. And so, a couple years later, the hound runs into the fox again, and this time, the hunter's like right there, right? So the hound can't really say, "Well, I can't get you," So the hound's like, "I'm gonna get you," and runs after him. And the fox is like, "Yo, dog, I thought you were bros, son." And the dog's like, "Well, my masters, I don't want to let them down, because then they let me down into the ground." And, the fox is like, "I understand, man. You got to do your job, and just doing your job." And so he's like running around, running away from him. And, the hound is like, trying his best. And see, the thing about it is, when you're in that kind of position, it's pretty much a struggle bus, because what you have to do is you have to kind of get out of that situation. I mean, really, what's really the hound should have done right then, has been like, "Hey, fox, let's get away together," Then they could both escape the hunters. Because, I mean, really, when you think about it, the dog's just as much of a victim here. Because, I mean, can you imagine you're, like, running around, you're chasing, it's like hide and go seek, and then you're like, "Found ya!" And then, like, you get your skin chopped off. Like, that's not cool. That's like a really bad win, Like, you're, like, happy about it? No, I mean, nobody can be happy about that. So the hound, kind of like, clumsily let him get away. And the hunter was really mad And he was like, "Oh, next time, Hound, it'll be the ground for you, Hound." And the Hound was like, "Oh no, I have to catch him next time I see him. It's not good, not good." So the Hound sneaks out at night, and when the dog's in his dog pen, he was in the doghouse that night because he couldn't catch a fox. And the fox was like, "Dude, you gotta get out of here, bro. Like, you gotta get out of here." And the Hound was like, "Well, get out of here. What do you mean?" And the fox was like, "Bro, like, you're trapped here. You're trying to do this job, and it's killing your morale. You're just down on the job. You're really like, kind of a deadbeat at this point. You're not doing your job, and then the hunter's gonna get you. That's not good. And he'll get me and you if we're not careful. And so what ended up happening is the Hound goes, "Well, we won't be able to escape, Fox. I'm tied up here, man. Like, what we have to do is take him out." So the fox is like, "Ooh, okay. Well, I got plenty of ways to do that." And so the fox, he roamed around, and he found a like a munitions place, with a bunch of weapons and stuff like that. And foxes can get into a lot of places that people think are guarded, like vents and stuff. And so the fox gets in there, climbs through the vent, breaks in, and guess what? He finds lots of something called C4, and it's like this plastic explosive. And the fox carries it with him on his back, and he sticks it onto himself, like walking around. And then he takes it, and he takes it, and he goes to the Hound's house, and he's like, "Yo, I got the stuff. Where should I place it?" And the Hound was pretty crafty, because I mean he'd been pretty close to the house, pretty he kind of knew the perimeter, kind of knew where the hunters really lodged it up, and they're all kind of meeting, having a smoke or something, and they were talking about all the heads on their walls. They were talking about the elephant head. They were like, "Oh yeah, the elephant. Well, the Hound found that one in the brush." And then he said, "Well, they had another head in there. It was like a cow head." And he goes, "Well, I found it eating grass in my neighbor's yard." And the neighbor, was pretty upset because he didn't know that his cow had been shot and taken. So it's even worse, they're just going around and getting whatever they want, It's no rules or anything, no accountability or anything like that. There was even a rat's head on the wall, and they said, "Oh, I found that one in the wall," and you could see all these bullet holes in the wall. What are they doing? They're even shooting the wall. They're shooting their own house. Couldn't believe it. So, so he goes, "Well, the fox is like, hey, I'm smart. I'm really pretty smart, but I don't know anything about munitions or anything like that, or guns or weapons. But I do have the C4 here." And the Hound's like, "Oh, I can wire that up real easy. I watch them do the crazy crap like this all the time." So he wires it all up, and he has to do it on the leash. So it's pretty hard. But he says, "Okay, Fox, all I need you to do is I need you to, get it just to this one right spot here." And then he said, "Okay, I'm gonna light it with my paw." And he was like, and he lit it, and then it went on this little string. It was going for the bomb, and so it's going for the C4. And then it got to the C4, and it was like, boom, C4. The C4 blew up, and guess what? And the next thing you know, there's like, you know, all these hunters in there. They blew up too. They blew up too. And then their heads were on the wall. Can you believe it? Their heads were on the wall. It was a turnaround. You know? It was a turnaround. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It was that turnaround. And then the fox was like, yo, Hound, you okay, dude? Are you okay, bro? And you know what the fox said? Oh. And guess what? The hound was okay. And also it broke the leash. And so he was able to run away. And he was run away with a fox. And then now they're best friends. Now they're best friends. They like broke out of prison practically. You know? Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good story. And those hunters, they blew up. Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, pretty good ending. Pretty good ending. I mean, you know, and the thing about it is, you know, then they kind of scratched around. They actually got autographs from like Lady and the Tramp too at one point. You know, it was pretty cool. And then they met that dog from All Dogs Go to Heaven. You know, they met that guy, and they got a photo taken with him one time. And it's actually like a photo that they use in like Homeward Bound one time. They used it in that movie. And so I mean, they're pretty popular, you know, but you don't usually see them too much, but except for in that movie, they did get their own movie, Fox and Hound, but you know, that's just like the one time thing. Actually, I think there's like 2 or 3. I don't know, but I've only seen the one. So, but I mean, it's only based on the true story, you know. Like what I just told is the true story, and that one's kind of like, you know, it's like the tamer version, you know. They didn't include the C4, you know. They were like, oh, it's too violent for a Disney movie, you know. So, but you know, it's pretty close, you know. Just not quite there, So, but yeah, you know, it's fun stuff, and you know, there's Fox and the Hound, you know. So just, I mean, look it up. It's a true story based on real events.